People don't realize this, but I am actually a pacifist. Well, not in the traditional sense. I practice this thing called proactive pacifism, where you eliminate threats before they can wage war on you to ensure lasting peace. Very effective. But a key tenet of pacifism isn't just a good offense. It's also a good defense. So today, we will build the best, the biggest possible defense, the ultimate, unsiegeable defensive fort. We will build a fort that will last until the very death of the universe itself, or until you run out of money to pay for it. Disclaimers time: Ironman, achievement compatible, no custom nations, the usual. Right, let's begin. So, the precedent has been truly set. We do need to begin as a Native American yet again. As always, Caddo will be the volunteer for this. So, as always, begin with native ideas, then, in any order, innovative, defensive, espionage, mercenary, and finally, humanist. Next, very simple stuff. As before, we need to make our way over to Germany. In this case, Switzerland. So, go ahead and do that. Once you're in Switzerland, become Swiss, and hence become Switzerland. Very importantly here, do take new traditions and ambitions. We are only forming the Swiss for their ideas. Now, we get to the province we will be actually defending. In this case, it's going to be Marienburg. The reason for this is a Malbork castle, so make your way over there now by conquering the area. Now, honestly, the dumbest and hardest part of this entire run, we need to go fishing for a very specific event. Step 1, we need to have colonialism embraced ourselves. Step 2, we need this province, that is, this province of Marienburg, to border a tag whose capital is in Africa. That's this place, Africa. Furthermore, they need to, crucially, not have colonialism embraced at this point. For the purposes of our demonstration, we will be selecting the Mamluks as our volunteers. In this case, I've set it up where I can return this province to the Mamluks. There we go. If you are also doing this, make sure you do not own these two provinces. You only want to border the Mamluks in one province, your target province, in this case, Marienburg. Then you just need to get lucky and fire the event visible on screen for the AI. It's a 250 mean months to fire, so a pretty decent chance there, and it's a 50-50 coin toss whether they decide to select the top option and make a deal with you. If they don't select the top option, you're gonna have to restart the run. If they do make the deal with you, you get this event, allowing you to adjust the trade good of the province. Now, the great thing about this trade good is, well, in the 17th century, you get these chaps called the abolitionists running around, which will allow you to press a decision banning the sale of this particular trade good, meaning that this province will now produce an unknown trade good. At which point, you will have a 2% chance of spawning salt there. That is not a joke. You need to get that 2% chance and spawn salt. Boom! You did all of that for 15% defensiveness. You're welcome. Now that you've done that, get the monument to level 3. There it is, level 3. Slap on a defensive edict. Gain 100% power projection. And fun fact, there is no constant command for power projection. Build ramparts in the province. Get the military engineer fort defensiveness advisor. And of course, who could forget the crucial step of making a quick pit stop in India and getting yourself some Hinduism, where of course you can select the Vishnu person, I heard he's important, for some fort defense. Finally, you will need to pop the new city event on it. So this is the old Prospering Times event, and it's very easy to pop in the process of doing all of the things you've done above. To make sure you don't pop it before, you need to have at no point more than 1 stability as the safe bet. If you do insist on having stability, make sure it never hits 3 stability. Or if you have 1/2 stability, never have an artist hide in your court. When you're ready to pop the event, make sure that the target province, in this question, Marienburg, is your least developed province. That will give you a rather impressive another plus 100% fort defensiveness. Now, you just need to pop the Find the Local Fortification Expert event on that province for 25% more. Then, there's a couple more events to go. Pop a different Fortification Expert event. Yes, there are 2, I checked. Then pop the event to the last man, which requires you to be at war. Oh, and then there's these 2 events. You get the point. There's a lot of events that give fort defensiveness. Thankfully, that's all of them. Finally, move your capital to Marienburg in question. Then, invade Korea and capture the Tripitaka Koreana. Once you have captured it, make sure to reinforce it. And when it is reinforced and you enter a defensive wall, you'll get a different decision, allowing you to move it to your capital. In this demonstration, I didn't change my capital to Marienburg, but the fact I can move it into some random New World province shows that you can move it anywhere. Once safely secured in the capital, it will provide another plus 15% local defensiveness, as well as a fort level, which should stack very nicely with your capital fort and everything else you built on here. Finally, I almost forgot the policies. You will need to activate the Loyal Conduct Act for 15% fort defense, By the People for the People for 25% fort defense and some more fort garrison, Superior Fortifications for some fort defense and fort maintenance reduction, and finally, the Privy Council Establishment Act for 50% fort defensiveness. Finally, it is time to reform our government. We are technically a republic. However, to defend our forts most effectively, we will need to proclaim divine guidance and switch to a theocracy. Funnily enough, we can actually grab the autonomous Swiss cantons back here if that is something we desire. But I would suggest monastic order to further stack fort maintenance to just really drill home the point that we don't even want to pay for this fort. The reason we go into theocracy is to grab the mission of protection for 10% more fort defense. And while you're over here, might as well in the tier 5 reform pick up a defensive stance for another 15% fort defense and even more fort garrison. And there you have it, ignoring the fact that we have a level 10 fort, given that it's our capital fort, +1 from the Korean thing we stole, and level 8 fort eventually when we build it, as well as some relatively insane combination of both 88% fort garrison size and minus 88% fort maintenance, which, for the record, we weren't even intending on stacking, this is just the passive things we picked up. We should at this point have a rather impressive... Yeah, that's a lot of fort defense. That's going to take... How many days to see? Okay, yeah, there is a slight flaw with this plan. If they have cannons, they can breach the walls and assault. Okay, so I don't think anyone would actually siege it, given the insane amount of days it would take to, well, siege this place. I think just actually makes more sense to just bring some cannons, breach the walls, and assault this, despite the 88% garrison size, given that you're taking a while for a single siege tick. You'll probably save yourself manpower in the long run, because even though it's farmlands, it's basically the most fortified farmlands imaginable in the universe. So you know what? Take that, Cadia. The planet will fall, but this garrison will still stand. Now, if you enjoyed the video, a like and sub will be appreciated, but that is all I have time for you today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.